it's about it's about what it's really about is this essentially what I consider sovereign citizen stuff. You know, everybody else is taking deals for the same instance, and these sovereign citizens come in here and with no basis in the court's eyes, and they get to go off scot-free.
So
Right from the start, this case feels like a collision between two worlds: the cold, rigid rules of the courtroom and the chaotic, self-made rules of the sovereign citizen movement. The judge lays it out plainly. While everyone else faces consequences, these sovereign citizens come in spouting jargon and somehow try to walk away untouched. It's a raw moment of judicial frustration, and you can already feel the storm building.
Raven Graves, that's capital D, lowercase ESTINEY dash capital R, lowercase AIVYN, colon, capital G, lowercase RAVES.
Judge, this is matter set for final pretrial. We have this for a jury trial tomorrow. Having discussed this with the prosecutor, is the agreement of the parties that the instant case would be dismissed. Now, my client has valid registration and insurance, Your Honor, so we would ask that those matters be dismissed for compliance. The remaining issues, as the court noted, is that the defendant does not have a valid driver's license, and I would ask the court to dismiss that case on the basis of prosecutorial discretion. The defendant understands that would be all of these dismissals today are based on technicalities and are without prejudice, and therefore it is the discretion of the prosecutor.
Then enters Destiny Graves. Notice how she introduces herself with exaggerated spelling, almost like she's trying to create a loophole out of thin air. This is straight from the sovereign citizen playbook, separating the corporate entity from the living person. But instead of grounding her defense in reality, it only deepens the judge's skepticism. To a normal viewer, it's confusing, almost nonsensical. To the judge, it's déjà vu. He's heard this all before.
I am here appearing specially, not generally, and I am raising my abatement on Miss Namer. And yeah, that I'm raising my abatement on Miss Namer, and that's it. I'm raising my abatement on Miss Namer.
I don't even understand what that means.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
I don't even understand what you just said or the meaning of what you just said.
I'm raising my abatement on the grounds of misnomer because I've been misidentified in this case, and I'm just pointing out the defect in the case. And I'm aware that misnomer is a very fatal mistake in a case. So I just wanted to point that out in my case.
Is that misnomer? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
All right. So so obviously, what Ms. Graves, what I understand Ms. Graves is trying to say is that they pulled over the wrong person. It wasn't her that was actually driving. If she's saying that I guess that's what she's indicating. I don't know. Maybe you can clarify that.
Your Honor, respectfully, no, that's not what I'm implying at all. I don't deny that I was not there in the interaction on, that day with the police officer. I'm not denying that at all. I was there and I am present now here as well. What I am saying is that there has been a misidentification between me and another party. I've been misidentified as a corporate fiction rather than a natural person. Which
so that's the same sovereign citizen stuff. Just
her claim that she's been misidentified, not as the wrong person, but as some fictional entity. The courtroom falls into that surreal territory where legal jargon twists into wordplay. But here's the truth. While Graves clings to theory, the court only cares about one thing. Did you drive without a valid license or not?
and without impediment. Listen, this is the state of Michigan, the city of Detroit. The Constitution and the amendments to the Constitution give the state the authority to force individuals on the road to keep for the safety, health, and welfare of its citizens, to have a minimum requirement for them to be able to drive what they and try for the safety of the individuals on the. So the fact that you feel, or I'm assuming that you feel that you don't have to have this because you're this special entity or whatever claims that you're making, the court does not recognize those claims. Therefore, the court is not going to accept the fact that the prosecuting attorney, or the city attorney in this case, does not want to go forward with it because they don't pretty much, I guess they don't want to take the time. I'm going to force this case to go either to trial, or I'm going to force this case to go to a plea.
The judge's response cuts sharp. He reminds everyone, driving isn't some abstract right. It's a regulated responsibility. Licenses exist for public safety, not bureaucracy. And when Graves leans on special status, the judge simply isn't buying it. This clash is bigger than one case. It's about whether personal ideology can override public safety. Spoiler, it can't.
Your Honor, I would like to request evidence that the court does have jurisdiction over my living person and not my.
That's not the court. That's not the way the system operates, ma'am. You need to read the Michigan court rules and educate yourself better. I don't know who's been teaching you this stuff, but quite frankly, the court does not have to give you any jurisdiction. And you challenge jurisdiction. The court says you were pulled over in the city of Detroit. You indicated that you were at the scene. The officer gave you a ticket. That is notice for you to come to court. You set a court date, and therefore you're here now. So other than jurisdiction being that you weren't in the city of Detroit when this offense occurred or these allegations occurred, then the court will hear an argument about that. But as far as anything else other than that, whatever you're speaking on.
The tension peaks when Graves pushes for proof of jurisdiction. It's the classic sovereign citizen move. Demand the court prove its own authority. But the judge shuts it down with irritation. Read the Michigan court rules. That moment shows the exhaustion courts feel when stuck in circular arguments with people who refuse to acknowledge the system itself.
To ask the court to consider adjourning tomorrow's bench trial, at least for a later time. She has an appointment. My understanding, it is directly related to her ongoing issue with securing a place to live. And she's been offered some assistance, but that at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, she's expected in a meeting to help her find housing. She's asking for the briefest of adjournments if this court would consider even a later time for us to convene for trial. That would be manageable for us. I'm prepared for trial, prepared to move forward. I don't know, Your Honor, that you required that the complaining witnesses appear for today's final pretrial, but as a matter of policy, I would ask that you would consider a motion to dismiss for a lack of those complaining witnesses to appear at this final pretrial as we are on the eve of a jury trial tomorrow.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. One thing I did want to clarify to the court is that I was not dismissing based on her arguments. I was moving to dismiss for valid documents, Your Honor. And in lieu of the resources that it will take to go to jury trial, that was a bigger consideration. However, the people are ready to proceed. I did offer until Mr. Boffman advised that she was struggling with housing, which I think makes her an excellent candidate considering she has a child for possibly street court. So I'm open to whatever's in the interest of justice, Your Honor.
Yeah,
May I make a record?
I understand that you were dismissing for documents, but the issue was not having the valid driver's license. That's where the issue comes up. Go ahead, Mr. Baldwin.
So I spoke at length with my client yesterday about, or day before yesterday, about street court and street justice and about how that would comport to some of her needs. She is currently in a shelter. She has a young son. I think he's 2. And she's also has some needs with respect to employment and quite possibly healthcare that could be in form and prospectively would be met if she would participate in our street justice program. I did mistakenly tell her that it might be a year commitment. I want to make sure that I correct that because Ms. Horn says this is a 90-day turnaround, that the cases and the instant cases would eventually be dismissed once we get Ms. Graves the help that
everything is ready to go. Auguste was not here today. I don't have it written on the file that that's the action that I was taking, but that's not my normal course of action. He's usually here on, and he usually appears. So he's probably on all the cases.
So you
Except for
just need to find out
over
tomorrow.
misdemeanor cases, Ms. Wright, particularly Wright, is not here. So, yeah, I didn't mark that on the file. It's just gonna either go. What time will you be at the dealing with the housing issue? What time will you be done?
I'm not sure, but here's my case manager. She knows more.
Right.
Kim, could you place your name on the record and who you are?
My name is Kim Carter. I'm her case manager here at the Fox shelter. She's in a homeless shelter. We have her housing scheduled tomorrow between, I believe it's between 8 and I want to say 10, but it may not end till like 11 or 11:30. It's for her to secure permanent housing to leave and able to leave the shelter.
Then comes an unexpected twist. The legal drama takes a human turn. Graves isn't just a sovereign voice. She's a homeless mother with a toddler. Her defense, and even the prosecutor, suggest an alternative, street court, a program focused on rehabilitation, housing, and stability. And her case manager confirms tomorrow could be the day she secures permanent housing. Suddenly, this isn't just about legal theory. It's about survival.
Absolutely like that. I would like, thank you, Madam Counselor over at the shelter.
You're welcome.
I would like that as well, but as I just say, from everything I've heard from Ms. Gray, that's not her intention. It doesn't seem as though it's her intentions. Are you willing to do the necessary steps to get a valid driver's license now?
Of course, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. What we'll do is I'm gonna reset this matter for a pretrial date on October the 13th. Congratulations, Ms. Graves, on the housing. And
Your Honor, do you mind telling me what day that is?
That's a Monday.
the 13th is a Monday. All right, so at 8:30, Mr. Baughman, I appreciate you working with Ms. Graves. I'm glad that you seem to have gotten her attention, and I hope things work out. Thank God you got, you're gonna get that voucher, ma'am, and you're gonna get yourself situated on housing. And thank you, Mr. Baughman, for coming in and the advocacy that you've done. I don't know where you get the arguments that you're making, ma'am, but in the court's eyes, they have no basis in fact or law. All right, so I don't know how, if you can take that for what you want. You're on.
By the end, the judge strikes a balance. He congratulates her on progress toward housing, but makes one thing clear: her sovereign arguments carry no weight in law. It's a blend of compassion and accountability, help for the human being, zero tolerance for the ideology. This case leaves us with two truths. The courtroom is not a playground for pseudo-legal theories, but at the same time, behind the sovereign talk, there are often real lives in crisis. And sometimes, justice is about finding the line between strict law and human compassion.